IVM.
$100. That's all it takes to begin your journey with Bitcoin and Ethereum. No, really. With CoinSwitch, you can start investing in over 100 cryptocurrencies with just 100 rupees. On top of that, there are zero charges for deposits and withdrawals, so you can trade, buy, sell, however and whenever you want. All of this, plus their extremely intuitive interface, makes CoinSwitch the perfect app for beginners in the crypto space. But don't take my word for it. Just download CoinSwitch for free and try it out for yourself. If you'd like more information on cryptocurrencies, tune into A Show About Crypto with me, Rohan Joshi, my new adventure on IVM Podcasts. CoinSwitch, kuch to badlega.
Here's your smart fact of the day. So what does mise en place mean? It's a French pronunciation actually, and it's spelled as MISENPLACE. So yeah, it is the French culinary phrase which means putting in place or everything in its place. It's a phrase that's used by chefs in restaurants, and there are 5 steps to do a mise en place, which is read the entire recipe, prepare your workspace, prepare sanitation bucket, prepare the equipment, check all the equipment is clean before food preparation, gather the ingredients, prepare ingredients, place in bowls, may include washing, etc., before you start cooking the meal. Yeah, that's what mise en place actually means. And I think that this potential concept could be excellently used for the workplace. Let's figure out how. Hey there, welcome to Smarter with Sid. And in this episode, I wanted to figure out how a strange concept like mise en place could be actually used by a lot of us, in fact, all of us, if we want to make our work output better. Why do I say what I say? And why is this strange culinary phrase so important according to me? Well, I just thought that it's such a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I was observing it in MasterChef Australia to start with, and then some other cookery shows. And then I realized that it is something that is done in a wonderful way, wherein the chef prepares the entire setting up of the meal in a clear-cut way. It's a set way. So, and I read out the 5 steps, but just imagine the sequence of it. Just imagine how a chef's mind must be thinking. And I realized that, hey, can we do this when we are actually maybe setting up a meeting, or maybe setting up our work day, or maybe setting up our presentation, or maybe doing some work, whatever form that work may be. The setup is so important, right? The setup is so important. And in this Smarter with Sid episode, that's what I'm trying to figure out. How do we use this concept really well? The setup. But for that, we have to kind of take a couple of steps back and understand why not setting up before doing something is becoming all the more important for us to avoid. It's becoming kind of like a disease. We are always rushing into things, kind of winging it. Words like jugaad have become extremely, commonplace, sometimes celebrated even, because the fact is that we are all short on time. We are all trying to accomplish too many things. We are all, having more ambitions than our forefathers. And the fact remains that because we are rushing in from one thing to the other, we are shortcutting our way to so-called success. We kind of forget our setup. In fact, there are many psychological reasons why we might be also doing it. Sometimes, like for instance, I used to avoid setting up things for the longest period of time because I used to think that I don't want to be dependent upon anything, right? I don't want to be dependent upon my laptop, upon PowerPoint, upon the way in which I set anything up. I might become crippled, I might become addicted to it. So I want to remain independent of it. So maybe something like that is also affecting some of us psychologically. Some of us might think that, hey, I think it works best if I wing it. It probably just, it's like the chef who's throwing things together and making a wonderful meal without really caring 2 hoots about anything else, right? But in reality, it doesn't work, does it? The setup is extremely important. And so therefore, I started experimenting with setups in small mundane activities in my work life. And what a difference it has made. What a difference. In fact, I know that all maestros, the people on the top of their game, whether they are chefs or sports people, even sports people, right? They respect their instruments, they respect and worship their instruments, they respect the way in which they are actually, using those instruments. They are so, I mean, look at a cricketer being finicky about his or her bat, or look at, a bowler being finicky about the kind of ball he chooses to play for the match. Look at the kind of visualizing that the bowler is doing whenever he's throwing a seam. Sorry for the cricket metaphor, but you can obviously do the same for tennis or football or anything. And I learned something from these guys. I learned that it is all about instruments and ingredients, but the most important thing is to put both instruments and ingredients in the right kind of sequencing, right? And once I understood that, hey, there is a sequence towards an event, I tried to experiment with it. And let me give you the example of this podcast. I mean, I've done more than 160 of these now, podcasts, that is. And when I started, I thought that I would kind of lose out on the spontaneity of the podcast if I kind of over prepare for it. So I was trying to avoid the setup, that old bugbear of being too dependent upon the setup was playing perhaps in my subconscious mind. But then I decided, no, let me try to sequence it. So every single time whenever I'm doing a podcast, I'm writing my notes. I am kind of looking for the Smarter with Sid fact. I'm looking at setting up of a laptop, the mic, the placement has to be perfect. I need to be at a certain distance from my mic, and in a very quiet place. I need to have my cup of coffee. I need to be looking out and relaxed and having that energy that I associate with when I am doing the podcast, but by design, not by accident. And that is the sequence of events that I've planned out with my instruments and with my ingredients before I start recording. And of course, after recording comes the editing part, which IVM does, helps me with putting it out there. And it's all a sequence. It's all a setup. It's all a mise en place, even before a single word is uttered. And trust me, not only podcasting, but I've tried it with my lectures, I've tried it with my consulting, I've tried it with a lot of other things. And I've realized that a minute of setup actually just is so effective. It makes your work 10 times more effective, I think. And also, it saves you time. It just might come across as a waste of time, but it saves you so much time in the end. Trust me, I have just benefited tremendously from this mise en place or the setup thing. If you don't want to pronounce a French word, just set it up, set things up, right? And that's how I see, many good professionals become excellent, top notch professionals by just setting it up. Now, many of you might actually argue that the sequencing and all is fine, but we live in such a dynamic environment, and whatever I have thought through, my boss calls me and then my whole schedule goes for a toss. I can't set things up properly and the rest of it. And I'm saying, yeah, you're right. A lot of times your setup may not be perfect, but, sometimes it actually helps you to visualize your sequencing by visualizing the dynamic, crazy environment that the sequencing has to be part of. So instead of trying to imagine the most stable environment, I will sit down with my perfect cup of coffee all the time. Visualize the fact that maybe you need to have something that comforts you, something that relaxes you, something that energizes you, and so on and so forth. You get my point, right? It is about visualizing a dynamic environment that your sequencing actually is played out in. And suddenly you will realize that I can actually do a setup in a beautiful way that is not too dependent upon factors that may be outside of my control, like my boss calling me, etc. And then you'll suddenly find that, yeah, I can do the setup really well. So there you go, guys. Mise en place or the setup. I think it's something that will just be great once you start practicing it. To be honest, I can't keep banging on about it really. But measuring twice, and cutting once is possibly something at the back of my mind when I that old cliche or that old phrase comes to mind when we talk of the setup. Measuring twice, making sure that everything is ready, everything is in place. Check your performance going up. check your performance going up. I hope that you try this out. Let me know how it goes, to be honest. Let me know how it goes. And based upon how it goes, maybe we can have a further conversation on this. In fact, like mise en place, there is something called mise en scène, mise en scene, or whatever you want to call it. And that's the way in which you present your work. But that's for another episode. I hope you like this episode of mine, of Smarter with Sid. Mise en place, or the setup, and how it helps. And hey, if you like stuff like this, do check out my mise en place reels on Instagram or my mise en place notes on LinkedIn, where I'm the traveling professor. And I'll be happy to hear from you. And many more exciting new things coming up, this traveling professor's way. And I'll be kind of releasing a review, giving you a sneak peek of the same very, 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 very soon. Until that time, though, do check out IVM's other podcasts. I mean, some really good stuff out there, guys. Some really good stuff. Until next time.
Hi everybody, just wanted to ask everyone for a quick favor. We're running a brand survey right now and would really appreciate it if you could let us know what you think about the advertising on IVM. Go to ivmpodcast.com/survey and do let us know. As part of this, we'll be selecting 10 random participants and sending them some IVM swag, so do fill out those surveys. Hey everybody, it's been a great week on the IVM Podcast Network. On the Longest Constitution, Priya narrates the long and ongoing battle of striking down Section 9 of the Hindu Marriage Act of 1955. That allows one party to appeal to the courts to restore his or her conjugal acts, and has unsurprisingly been used more by men than women. On Press Decode, Bhagda, Ragini, Sarah, and Adya talk about the inspiration behind the movie Hotel Rwanda. Venkatesh Saha, head of APAC and Middle East expansion at WISE, joins Anupam on Pesavesa to talk about foreign exchange services. And on the Life Manifesto, Zarina explains the difference between personality and personal brand. Do follow us on social media. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And remember, if you're enjoying this show or any of our other shows for that matter, please do tell a friend. It really does help us. And finally, we'd like to thank our sponsors on the network this week: Cred, Bank of Baroda, Quota, CoinSwitch, Kuber, and Inter vPro. Thank you so much for making this possible.
Namaste, this is Cyrus Brocha. I am part of the government cancel culture program to remove rubbish off all the different streams available. So what we have is all the collected rubbish we put together on our show. It's called Cyrus Says. It's on IVM Podcast. You have to watch it and listen to it. It's on our app. It's on our website. It's on the YouTube channel. It's on Facebook. There are many different ways. Don't bother me and ask me how. You have to find out. We talk to different personalities. Many of them are known. Some are just people we meet downstairs and invite them up for chai. But the point is, it's fun and it's very therapeutic. So please join in and listen to Cyrus Says.